Yo, good evening, USA, International, Canada, Long Island, aka Strong Island, the tri state areas of New Jersey and Connecticut, plus the five spots of Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, and Queens. This is your man and homie, G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator, rhymes with now or later. Your host with the most, Mr. the Still Lonely Nomad, Unstoppable Independent Podcaster, Creator, YouTuber, and Queens, New York native, who is also a New York Giants and New York Mets fan from the neck of the woods of Laurelton, Queens, New York. You are now rocking with me by listening, streaming, and watching the 121st episode of the Sports Edition show, Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast. And man, I got a whole lineup for you today for recaps of Saturday's game and today's game and stuff. So I will go over that with you and all that great stuff right there. And of course, man, what a great time to be a New York Mets fan. In particular, I'll actually break that down in a couple minutes. And yes, I got a lineup full of topics today. This episode is gonna be a little different because of Women's History Month. I'm dedicating this episode to the women in sports who are sports reporters, whether it's the ESPN, whether it's the SNY, whatever cable channels you do your sports analysis and stuff on teams and stuff. I'm dedicating this episode to them alongside with other topics to talk about in today's episode. So yes. There you go, right there. Make sure you click on the sports YouTube channel page of the Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast. Leave a like and a comment, and of course, be sure to spread the word to everyone that watches sports games. All right, and also don't forget to leave a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, and of course, you can leave a positive review on there. It really helps me out as a host who does multiple podcasts separately. So I'm really trying to grow this channel and my other channels out so far. Now, if you didn't know, I not only have this sports podcast, but I also have my entertainment review show, Meticulous Values podcast, and alongside with Off the Meat Rat Chains New York Avenue podcast on G Money Stacks 555. Hold on one second here. Yeah, and make sure you subscribe to my other YouTube channel pages as well, because I also do other podcast shows as well. So be sure to do the same for my other channels as well. And of course, now, yeah, you know the saying, ladies first, right? I'm gonna start off with a special segment. Hold on a second. Yeah, it was sunny, but it was a little cold. It was a little cold since yesterday and today. So yeah. Now let's get down to some sports topics that's trending in the quick side bleacher bar. All right. I hope y'all had an amazing time at the ballpark in Flushing, Queens at Citifield, even though they lost today, which I'll go over in a few minutes. So don't worry about that too. So don't worry about that. All right, here we go. Hold on 1 second. Trying to get my what's going on with this thing? All right, here we go. Damn it. And my shit's acting slow, so just bear with me here. Yes, happy Women's History Month to all the hardworking women out there who are in the sports industry, as far as like whether you're covering basketball, whether you're covering baseball, football, whatever sports you are um basically covering. So there you go right there. Now, first things first, our first lady of Women's History Month is a sports journalist who goes by the name of Taylor Rooks. For those of you who may not know who she is known for her sideline poise and athlete report. Hold on. Yeah, sorry about that, folks. I had to put it on mute because of the noisy planes. All right, as I was saying before, for those of you who may not know who Taylor Rooks is, she's a sports journalist who is known for her sideline poise and athlete report. Delve into her roots, resilience, and rising projects in a recent interview for Shown magazine, revealing how family tales and fashion flair fueled her climb in basketball media. Rooks is 33 and she hosts NBA on Prime and has interviewed stars from LeBron James to Dwayne Wade. The October 2023 chat spans her childhood sports obsession to philanthropy dreams, underscoring her push for authenticity in a field long shaped by men. Roots in the game. Rooks's love for sports ignited early, tied to family lore. She recalls road trips with her excuse me. She recalls road trips with her father to Chicago, absorbing his tales of a game-winning touchdown for the University of Illinois. Sports live inside people, she said, evoking the emotion of her first NBA game at Michael Jordan's United Center in the 1990s. High school football championships under Friday night lights cemented her bond while mimicking TV anchors with a childhood camcorder sparked journalism dreams. College honed her passion for live broadcast, adrenaline merging her world, seamlessly. Hold on. Okay. Okay. Let me see. Where was I? Yes. Yes. Style as storytelling tool in a uniform industry, Rooks wields fashion like a narrative edge. Bold colors and silhouettes make her memorable, echoing the late Craig Sager's vibrant suits. When you look good, you feel good. She quoted Deion Sanders, adapting it to her sideline slay. Young women credit her for shattering molds, feeling seen beyond the box of traditional journalists. Her aesthetic draws non-fans, sparking broader conversations, and proven style bolsters credibility, not distracts. Facing industry headwinds, Rooks calls sports media male heavy, not dominated, stressing excellence um, trumps gender. Oh gosh. As a black woman, she navigates an invisible scale, assertive yet not difficult, stylish without overshadowing. Early scrutiny tested her, but she reframes her lens as a gift for empathetic insights. Boundaries protect it, saying no to belittling gigs, ensuring the next generation thrives uncompromised. There's not just one way to do this job, she affirmed. Accolades and athlete bonds named Complex's 25 most excuse me named Complex's 25 most entertaining sports media personalities and GQ's your favorite athlete's favorite journalist. Rooks values validation but prioritizes connection. Athletes see her interviews as milestones. Some attended her wedding, others seek advice. Trust drives depth. Emulating Ahmad Rashad's warm rigor, she crafts friend to friend talks, name drop in rap lyrics, and chats with President Barack Obama. Vulnerability yields stories that matter. Giving back and looking ahead. Taylor Rooks, the Taylor Rooks Foundation aids classrooms recently funding 28 teachers' wish list, repaying communities that shaped her. A door open, she said, of easing burdens for youth, advice to her younger self. Use the internet, don't let it use you. Prioritize skills over viral chases. On NBA on Prime, Rooks builds from scratch with legends like Dirk Nowitzki and Candace Parker. Thrilled for creative range, she envisions fun, insightful fan bridges. No quitting tempted her. Passion sustains. Rooks's journey spotlights innovation amid tradition, inspiring authenticity in in sports storytelling. So there you go, right there. Hang on 1 second here. All right. So the next woman to talk about is Ashley Nicole Moss. Now, I'm not going to get into the salary and net worth. I'm not going to get into any of that. I just want to get into the accomplishments that she's done. All right. So, of course, obviously, the show 106 in Sports got canceled. In case anybody didn't know, 106 in Sports got canceled. and I think it has to do with the merger of Warner Brothers, actually. So I'll dive into that on my other podcast, Off the Meat Rack Change New York Avenue podcast. Stay tuned for that episode. Ashley Nicole Moss has established herself as a formidable force in sports journalism, captivating audiences with her insightful analysis and dynamic presence. Born on January 13th, 1993, in Brooklyn, New York, Ashley has built an impressive career spanning radio, television, and digital media. From breaking barriers in journalism to becoming a trusted voice in sports commentary, her journey is both inspiring and impactful. Her career trajectory showcases her relentless passion for storytelling, her ability to connect with audiences, and her dedication to representing diversity in sports media. With years of experience covering professional basketball, hosting prominent shows, and earning industry recognition, Ashley has become a respected figure in sports journalism. In this detailed article, yeah, I'm not going to get into, like I said, so there's going to be let me see explore every facet of her life, her background, career milestones. I'm not going to get into the net worth stuff, man. I'm not going to get into the net worth stuff though, even though it's written in there. I'm not going to do that. I just want to get into her accomplishments. All right, so let's see her accomplishments. Okay, so all right, so Ashley Moss was born on January 13th, 1993, in Brooklyn, New York, a city renowned for producing talented individuals across various industries. Her upbringing in such a vibrant environment helped shape her enthusiasm for media and storytelling. Ashley's father, Jeff, played an essential role in her life, offering unwavering support as she pursued her career. Her current I don't want to say her age on here. I don't want to say her age on here, but I'll look for it later. Um, yeah, while details about her mother and siblings remain undisclosed, Ashley has often spoken about the importance of family and how their encouragement fueled her ambitions. Growing up, Ashley was deeply immersed in the world of sports, following games and engaging in discussions that would later define her career path. From an early age, she exhibited a keen interest in journalism, showcasing her ability to analyze and articulate sports related narratives. To education and academic excellence, Ashley's commitment to her academic pursuits was evident when she enrolled at Florida Atlantic University, where she pursued a degree in multimedia journalism. Her dedication to excellence was reflected in her graduation status, magna cum laude, an impressive achievement that demonstrated her hard work and intellect. During her college years, she honed her skills in media and storytelling, preparing herself for a thriving career in sports journalism. Her time at Florida Atlantic University provided her with the foundation she needed to transition into professional reporting and broadcasting successfully. Her passion for learning and her drive to be an influential voice in the media industry set her apart. Ashley's ability to merge traditional journalistic principles with modern digital storytelling was a testament to her adaptability and innovative thinking. All right. So yeah, let me see what else. So early career and foundation, Ashley Nicole Moss took her first steps into the media industry at iHeartRadio in Miami, an experience that laid the foundation for her future in sports journalism. She began working as an on-air DJ, where she honed her ability to engage audiences through compelling storytelling and voice modulation. While music and entertainment were at the forefront of iHeartRadio's programming, Ashley's interests remained firmly rooted in the world of sports. Her natural charisma and ability to keep listeners engaged led to an opportunity to co host a sports talk show. The Greek Zone on Fox Sports 940. This role helped her develop the skill set required for live broadcasting, quick analysis, and engaging discussions, a combination that would serve her well in her career as a journalist. Transitions to transition to sports journalism. Ashley Moss's undeniable talent for storytelling and sports analysis positioned her perfectly for a transition into sports journalism. She took her first big step into the industry when she joined SNY as an NBA reporter, covering the fast paced world of professional basketball. Her ability to break down plays, interview athletes, and deliver engaging commentary quickly set her apart. Ashley became known for her deep knowledge of the game, her relatable style, and her talent for making complex sports analysis accessible to a broad audience. As an NBA reporter for SNY, Ashley covered major events, conducted players' interviews, and provided expert commentary. Her work not only reflected her enthusiasm for sports, but also showcased her dedication to highlighting diverse voices in the industry. Now, hosting certified buckets. Okay. Ashley Moss took her career to new heights when she joined uninterrupted as the host of the popular basketball podcast Certified Buckets. This platform provided her with the opportunity to share her deep knowledge of basketball, connect with fans, and engage in insightful discussions about the sport. The podcast featured player interviews, behind the scenes insights, and deep dives into basketball culture, allowing Ashley to showcase her expertise in a more interactive setting. Her natural ability to blend humor, analysis, and storytelling made Certified Banks a favorite among basketball enthusiasts. Through this show, Ashley cemented her status as a leading voice in sports media, expanding her reach beyond traditional journalism and creating an authentic connection with her audience. And also, okay, so another accomplishment that she did, she's making history with Sports Illustrated. In 2021, Ashley Nicole Moss achieved a historic milestone when she became the first Black woman to lead the video vertical for Sports Illustrated. This was a groundbreaking moment in her career, highlighting her dedication, expertise, and influence within the industry. Joining Sports Illustrated was a testament to Ashley's hard work and ability to innovate in sports media. As she stepped into this leadership role, she brought new perspectives, fresh storytelling, and an unwavering commitment to representation in journalism. Her impact was felt across the industry, inspiring aspiring journalists, especially women of color, to pursue careers in sports media. Her achievement was not just a personal milestone, but a major step forward for diversity and inclusion in sports coverage. She also joined CBS Sports in January 2024. Ashley Moss joined CBS Sports as a host and analyst, marking another significant step in her career. CBS Sports, known for her, known for its comprehensive sports coverage and prestigious broadcasting platform, provided Ashley with a larger audience and expanded opportunities to showcase her expertise. As part of CBS Sports, Ashley continued to deliver insightful sports analysis covering key events and interviewing top athletes and offering perspectives on major developments in the industry. Her engaging presence and deep knowledge of basketball and football positioned her as one of the leading voices in sports broadcasting. Her transition to CBS Sports was a testament to her versatility, having successfully navigated multiple mediums, including radio, television, including the recently canceled show 106 in Sports, and digital journalism. She adapted seamlessly to her new role, bringing depth, personality, and expertise to every segment she hosted. Co-hosting We Need to Talk Now podcast. Okay. Ashley played a crucial role in CBS Sports' commitment to diversity and inclusivity by co-hosting the podcast We Need to Talk Now, a show dedicated to women's sports and industry-related discussions. Through this podcast, she engaged in thought-provoking conversations about women in sports, social issues, and the evolving landscape of sports media. Her contributions to the show help elevate unrepresented voices and highlight um, important topics affecting athletes, journalists, and fans. Ashley's ability to blend journalistic integrity with compelling storytelling made We Need to Talk Now a standout podcast, further establishing her influence in sports media. Recognition by Forbes, Ashley Moss's impact on the sports journalism industry did not go unnoticed. In 2023, she was recognized by Forbes, earning a coveted spot on the Forbes 30 under 30 list for her contributions to sports media. This prestigious acknowledgement solidified her status as an industry leader, celebrating her dedication, influence, and achievement in sports journalism. Being featured by Forbes placed Ashley in the company of other trailblazers who had significantly influenced their respective fields, further amplifying her visibility as a media personality and journalist. Engagement with NBA Twitter in 2020. In December 2023, Ashley Moss found herself at the center of an important conversation on online harassment after receiving unsolicited explicit messages and derogatory comments from NBA Twitter users. Jeez, damn. Can we stop the hate? As a respected figure in sports journalism, Ashley has always approached her work with professionalism, but this particular incident highlighted the challenges women in the industry often face. Damn. That's crazy, man. Rather than ignoring the negativity, Ashley chose to directly address the inappropriate behavior, calling out the misogyny and unwarranted criticism of her appearance. In response to those mocking her looks, she confidently defended herself, stating, in quote, "I have my dad's ears. They are cute. I'm cute." Now, I'm not going to go into, wait, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait, just a minute here. Wait a minute. It's interesting because when I watch her on TV, she looks like she's like tall, but according to her measurements of physical attributes, Ashley Moss's physical attributes are often the topic of curiosity among her fans. Standing at 5 feet 7 inches, 170 centimeters tall, Ashley exudes confidence and charisma both on and off the screen. Her black hair and dark brown eyes complement her professional demeanor, making her a standout presence in sports media. Her appearance is not just about aesthetics, it reflects her confidence and individuality, qualifies that her help her connect with audiences and establish herself as a trusted voice in journalism. Ashley's ability to balance professionalism with authenticity has made her a relatable figure in the industry. So there you go, right there. There you go. Like I said, I'm not going to go in. Well, hold on. Yeah, I'm not going to get into. Wait, she was in. Hold on. Wait a second here. Yeah, CBS Sports. She also did Sports Illustrated. She did Uninterrupted. Additionally, her involvement in podcast, digital series, and live broadcasting has contributed significantly to her financial growth. I'm not gonna. Well, yeah, there's only one thing actually. This is already online anyway. So, $3 million. Yeah. Okay. So, 3 million. Oh yeah. Wait. Yeah, this is crazy, man. 3 million. Yeah, I'm not gonna get into. I'm not gonna get into too deep to finances and stuff. It's already written online. So anyway, um, yeah. Let's go on to the next woman. Actually, let's go on to the next woman. Um, the next woman I want to dedicate this to is, let me see. Let me see. All right. So, of course, there's Nikki Lottarulo. Some of you may know her from SNY, and sometimes she hosts Mets Off Day Live. I don't know when that's coming back, though, to be honest with you. I have no idea when that's coming back on the SNY YouTube channel page. I'm not too sure about that. Anyway, so Nikki Lottarulo is an American anchor, reporter, host working for um actually working for WSMW in Nashville, Tennessee, where she serves as the sports reporter. She joined the station in May 2022. I saw her interview on You Know I'm Right podcast, actually, with Nick Durst and his co-host. I forget his name already. I forget his name already. Yeah, Lotta Rulo attended Immaculate Heart Academy in 2011 and graduated in 2015. She later joined journalism school at the University of Rhode Island, where she graduated with a bachelor's degree in journalism in 2019. Lotta Rulo is a sports reporter at WSMW since May 2022. Prior to joining WSMW, Nikki worked for KCEN Channel 6 in Waco, Texas for 2.5 years as a weekend sports anchor and reporter. While working in Waco, she managed to cover tons of state championships, high school football games, and a whole lot of Baylor athletics. Nikki was also able to cover the national championship with Baylor basketball and 2 Sugar Bowls and 2 Big 12 championships with Baylor football. She joined KCN in November 2020 and left in May 2022. From July 2019 to November 2020, Lotta Rulo worked at KCN, no, excuse me, KCEN as a sports news reporter before working as a sports anchor. For her education, Lotta Rulo attended the University of Rhode Island. While in URI, she was nominated by Miss Universe organization as Miss New Jersey Teen USA in 2015 and later in September 2016 as Miss Rhode Island USA 2017. Nikki began her career in May 2017 on ABC6 as a news department intern. Lotta Rulo worked one-on-one with the new staff, assisted with writing, filming, and editing packages, earned base level skills for television newsrooms positions, and left in August 2017. She then moved to Kingston, Rhode Island from September 2017 to December 2017 as URI 101 mentor, as an in-class resource to 36 first-year students at the University of Rhode Island, Kingston, Rhode Island. It was her job to create a comfortable environment and community that is conducive to academic, personal, and social growth. Lotta Rulo was responsible for creating weekly lesson plans to keep the students engaged and on track with their decided major. Okay, so in August 2017, she worked at WPRI Media and Marketing as a sports intern. In East Providence, Rhode Island, Lotta Rulo assisted reporters on the field with setting up live shots at Patriots games along with local football games. She also assisted reporters to write, edit, and produce nightly newscasts, as well as shot local sporting events on her own, and left in January 2018. In September 2017, she worked as a sports producer anchor at the Good 5 Cent Cigar. It was her job to hold meetings once a week and assign reporters to sporting events occurring throughout the week. Lotta Ruler produced the Rowdy Sports Corner segment and anchored it. She also attended events and created a package covering highlights or a feature story. Therefore, she was able to attend the A10 tournament along with the NCAA tournament to cover the URI men's basketball team. She resigned in May 2018. From January 2018 to May 2018, she worked at the WJAR TV in Cranston, Rhode Island, where she worked as a sports intern. Nikki was able to assist reporters in the field, setting up live shots and shooting local basketball games. This enabled her to expand her knowledge as a producer, learning how to write proper scripts and highlights. In April 2018, Lotta Ruler worked as a sports intern for WABC TV, Greater New York City area. She then moved to the Ryan Center Mead Stadium as a video host for URI men's basketball and football. From September 2018 to May 2019, she worked at GoRoadie.com as a reporter. Nikki is obsessed with Gino, a mini golden doodle which she owns. Her social media handles are overloaded with lots of Gino content. Away from her work and game, you can find her at a game for fun. She grew up a diehard Yankees and Chiefs fan and spends most of her time watching one of the two. She is very excited to bring to the Music City and the Music City some Jersey spunk. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Wait a minute. I'm not gonna mention anything about her age or anything like that. So I'm not gonna mention that. Um wait a minute. Lotta Rule stands at a height of 5 feet 7 inches tall. She's the same height as Ashley Nicole Moss. Interesting. Anyway, I'm not gonna go into that actually. So basically, she also became a SNY. Um, she also she's also sometimes on SNY's Sports Night, and sometimes you can see her on Mets Off Day Live on the SNY YouTube channel page, actually. So, keep a lookout for that and turn your notifications on the SNY YouTube channel page in case you get notified for Mets Off Day Live. All right. The next the next woman to talk about is Michelle Margot. All right, so Michelle Margot is a Native American anchor and reporter currently working as a host and reporter at SNY TV. She joined the station hang on, when did she join? She joined the station in December 2019, despite starting her career earlier than that. Additionally, she served as a WCC Digital Ground Crew member at the West Coast Conference in Las Vegas, Nevada. Prior to that, she served as an intern at Fox Sports based in San Diego. Before that, Margot served for USD TV for almost a year. From January 2011 to September 2012, she worked as the main anchor for the channel and later served as a recruitment coordinator in San Diego. Before that, she worked as a marketing associate and hydration specialist at Zyco Beverage Double LC. Prior to that, she served as a key holder at Aldo Group in Roseville Galleria. By the way, I did see her interview on I'm Right podcast with Nick Durst. Of course, you can make sure you check that interview out on the YouTube channel page. All right, so let's see. So Michelle was born in California, United States of America, the American sports reporter and host famous for her work in Florida and New York. Michelle Margot revealed in February 2018 that she was 25 years old at the time, though she has never shared her exact birth date. She was 25 in February 2018. That would make her 33 or 34 years old in 2026. She must have been born either in 1992 or 1993. So Michelle Margot's height and measurement. Michelle is a woman of average stature. She stands at a height of 5 feet 4 inches. That's interesting though, man. She's almost the same height as Kevin Hart, if I'm not mistaken, because Kevin Hart is like 5'5". Anyway, I'm not gonna get into the marriage stuff. Um, she attended Bella Vista High School and pursued her high school education. Later on, she attended the University of San Diego and earned her bachelor's degree in communication and political science. So yeah. And for those of you who may not know, Michelle Margot is a Native American who was born and raised in the United States of America. She belongs to the white ethnic group. Yeah. Okay. So there you go right there. And of course, Michelle has been working as a host and reporter at SNY TV in New York since December 2019. Additionally, she freelances as a host and reporter at SNY. Before that, she worked as a sideline reporter and host at AT&T Sportsnet Southwest in Houston, Texas. Before that, Margot worked as a sideline reporter and host for Fox Sports Florida in Tampa, Florida. Prior to that, Michelle served as a host and producer of Padres POV and a sideline reporter at Greater San Diego. Formerly, she served as a weekend sports anchor and reporter at Chris Communications in Corpus Christi, Texas. All right, so there you go, right there. Now, the next woman to talk about is, let me see, where is the next woman to talk about here is, here we go. All right, Chelsea Sherrod. Yeah, so, all right, so 8 years removed from her own time as a college basketball player, Chelsea Sherrod still feels a pregame rush. Live games, live TV, there's nothing like it, says Sherrod, the UConn women's basketball sideline reporter for SNY. You can write and you can prepare. Sometimes you just have to know what is happening and go with the flow. That's right. Sherrod will be an increasingly present figure, inquisitor, informer, entertainer, generally a conduit from program to fan on TV screens across Connecticut as the Huskies get deeper into Big East play. Hired in December 2023, she is just over a year into her role as a reporter, host at Sportsnet New York. Yeah, that's what SNY stands for, Sportsnet New York. All right. For those of you who may not know what the acronym is, that's what it is right here, which has telecast UConn games since 2006. Sherrod, who went to Stratford High and played basketball at Albertus Magnus before graduating in 2016, was named the Huskies sideline reporter shortly before the 2023 and 2024 postseason. The network was done carrying games by that point, but with conference play forming the bulk of UConn's remaining schedule, Sherrod's Think on Your Feet role will explore for viewers the how and why of Gino um um Ori hold on Or- Oriema and his team. Oh gosh. Anyway, the storylines can change so quickly, Sherrod said. It's like playing a game. That's how I prepare. Ahead of my hits, it feels like I'm getting ready for a game. You have little butterflies, you hype yourself up and you've got to lock in. It's so loud in the arena. There's the music, the bands, the fans, the producers in your ear, and it's like, okay, let's do this. It's no surprise that Sherrod age 29 age 29 is in a role and a career that is part performative and part investigative and rooted in the sports of her youth. She's the oldest daughter in a Connecticut family well known for its pursuits in athletics and music. We're fortunate to have two really loving parents, and they've really been our biggest advocates and always allowed us to explore different avenues and pushed us to pursue what we're most passionate about. Brandon said Brandon Sherrod. Chelsea's older brother, who is an assistant coach under James Jones with the Yale men's basketball team. I'd be remiss if I didn't give them all the credit. Brandon, the 2010 Connecticut Gatorade Player of the Year at Stratford High, played 114 games at Yale in 2011 to 16, twice making national headlines. Brandon set an NCAA single season record by making 30 consecutive field goals as a senior forward in 2015 to 16. He sat out the previous season, opting to travel and perform with the famed Whiffin Poofs, the oldest um, college, collegiate, a cap, uh, hold on, capella singing group in the world. He stayed true to himself, and I appreciate that, Chelsea said. I thought it was really inspiring and it was an experience none of us will ever forget. People say he's a renaissance man. She's just always been so cool to me. Shayla Sherrod, age 27, earned her law degree at Penn and is now a lawyer in New York, where the youngest of the four siblings, China Sherrod, age 25, lives and works as a singer. Um, China was featured on the show American Idol as a 17-year-old high school senior in 2016. Cassandra and Rick Sherrod were raised in Bridgeport and raised their children there too, not far from Sacred Heart University, where Chelsea earned a master's degree in strategic communications and public relations in 2022. They met as young male carriers 40 years later. Rick still works for the the Postal Service in a management role. And Cassandra has a long career as a paraprofessional at a school in Bridgeport. Now, for those of you who may not know, Bridgeport is in Connecticut, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, our parents didn't hold us to one career path or experience, Chelsea said. They were so open to us experiencing different things. Chelsea Sherrod once wanted to be a detective and later considered pursuing a career in law. Instead, she followed her brother into athletics and identified a passion for communications and TV while at Albertus, now B and C as they refer to each other, are simultaneously occupying different spots on the Connecticut college basketball map. A lot of her success has been self motivation and passion, said Brandon in his first year as a Yale assistant. It's so incredible seeing your sister, who you know in a totally different light. That's a really difficult thing to do. A difficult thing to do. Sideline reporting. I'm just so impressed by how poised she is. She's always seems to have the right number of breaths and the right questions to ask. I know talking to Gino isn't always the easiest thing in the world, but they've built a strong rapport, and it's a testament to how easy she makes other people feel about her. Man, Brandon helped Yale to its first NCAA tournament appearance in 54 years as a senior in 2016, and to a first round upset victory over Baylor, the Bulldogs' only NCAA victory in program history. Chelsea, a 2-year captain at Albertus, was in the crowd that day in Providence. She had finished her basketball career averaging 5.9 points and 10.6 rebounds as a junior, and 4.5 points and 6.9 rebounds as a senior for the Division 3 Falcons. Chelsea has torn an ACL 4 times, the left while playing soccer in 8th grade, and again while playing soccer as a high school sophomore, and the right while playing double AU basketball as a high school upperclassman, and again while a sophomore at Albertus. These experiences give her unique insight while covering UConn, which has had an unprecedented amount of serious injuries the past 3 seasons. All right. Let's see. All you can think about is getting back, and there is nothing that can stop it, Shiraz said of the rehabilitation process. Media or fans get caught up on, oh my gosh, it's happened again, and players have moved on. All they are thinking about now is rehab and what to do. What do I do to return? My experiences to do help with a level of understanding and empathy, and being able to talk to players about their rehab. After after Yale, Brandon set up on a professional playing career, first in Italy, later in Finland, and in Israel, where he had a contract to play again this year. Um, Brandon received a call from James, the Yale coach since 1999, when he was home for a break. And suddenly, Brandon was a basketball coach instead of a basketball player. It wasn't something I had marked as a potential job opportunity or future career, Brandon said, but the chance to work under the same coach who recruited me and coached me, and the same associate head coach, Matt Kingsley, that recruited me and coached me and assisted Justin Simon, who started his coaching career when I came in as a freshman. It was a great way to keep everything in the family and to work on the skills I had honed. In hindsight, I'm really blessed and grateful because I would have been in the middle of a war. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Brandon has been very active in the Bridgeport, Stratford, and New Haven. Oh my God. Yeah, yeah, Brandon active has been very active in the Bridgeport, Stratford, and New Haven communities over the years, and he has long discussed a long-term goal to be the mayor of Bridgeport. He and I have a really special connection through sports, and because we're so close together in age, Chelsea said. We always talk about our careers. He was going back and forth, and I really pushed him to take this job at Yale. The year before, he had this light bulb moment of, I have to start thinking about life after playing. I told him this is the perfect opportunity. Okay, wow. This is a lot, man. But hey, So Brandon played 7 seasons overseas. Meanwhile, Chelsea went about navigating the sports journalism path. Her first experience came when Kristen DeCarly, then a sports information director, now a professor, asked her to conduct athlete of the month interviews at Albertus. After graduating, Chelsea completed an 8-week program at the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. She made a lot of contacts there and more through her association with the National Association of Black Journalists. She also returned to Albertus often to record games, stand-ups, and interviews and coaches willing to participate. There were many, including women's basketball coach J.R. Fredette and men's coach Mitch Oliver. Sherrod, who interned at WTNH in New Haven, that's in Connecticut, while in college, first worked as an operations technician for Files 1 in Rye Brook, New York, and as a production assistant for NBC Sports in Stanford. Her first on-screen job was as a weekend sports anchor at WKTV in Utica, New York. Sorry for the butcher. And she was a reporter host at NESN for a year and a half before taking the job at SNY. Now she's one of the main links to the mind of Auriemma in his 39th season. I remember the first time I talked to him, I was almost starstruck, Sherrod said. We hit it off in our first interactions. I think based on the questions I was asking, he could sense my interest in the game. I really enjoy our conversations. I try to keep them fun and light, and we joke with each other. Play-by-play announcer Alan Bestwick and color analyst Megan Como, a former UConn player, formed the rest of the team assigned to Huskies games. The role as UConn sideline reporter is only a slice of what Sherrod does for SNY. She contributes to Sports Night, the station's catch-all sports summary of the New York market. She has reported rinkside at Rangers and Devils games, done hits at Knicks games, and Mets pre- and post-game work. She lives in Harlem, not far from Central Park. Sherrod's UConn sideline reports could be in reaction to anything happening in the game, such as the latest run or injury or substitution pattern. They could also be more of a human interest angle, such as sharing parts of conversations had with Nika Muhl about her parents recently traveling from Croatia to see a game for the first time. She also interviews Auriemma at halftime as he's coming off the court. That's a tricky spot. Finite time for a reporter with a coach juggling countless thoughts about what just happened and what changes to make. I usually have one question and let Gino answer, and based on his answer, I'll follow up on what he says or take it in a different direction, Sherrod said. Gino makes it very easy. Gino is going to say what he wants to say. It's so funny as a sideline reporter, a lot of times you are coming up with a question, so you are leading and they are following. But in my experience with Gino, yes, I throw him a path with a question, but he almost starts leading with his answers. Sometimes I don't know what direction he's going to take it, and then I'll follow up. Brandon isn't sure what his future holds. Music remains close to his heart. He has attended some concerts where Amir Büyük Hanli, a junior guard from Turkey, plays guitar for fun. Brandon and and Bu Yuck Hanley rate the national anthem sung before every Yale game. The highest score as of late December was 7.5. Brandon isn't officially involved with the Whiff Poofs and hasn't seen a concert recently. He did see another capella group recently at Maury's and got called out by friends to the crowd. I'm still navigating whether I see longevity in the coaching profession. Brandon said, I have a number of passions that help me feel more well-rounded. Chelsea's ultimate goal is to be a silent reporter for a national network. She'll always be able to say she spent a stretch covering an iconic program and a Hall of Fame coach. I feel like I'm coming in on the tail end of his career, though I'm sure he could coach forever, Siraj said of Oriema. But it's different now because he doesn't really have anything to prove at this point. I think that makes it more enjoyable for him and for us. I call him the godfather of college basketball, specifically women's basketball. Every time I talk to him, I learn something. Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Of course. Of course, if you like to learn more about Chelsea Sherrod, you can also catch her sometimes on Sports Night and also sometimes on Mets Off Day Live on the SNY YouTube channel page. All right. Yeah, you can also follow her journey on social media as well. And another person that I like to talk about, which will be the last one, is going to be, hold on a second. If I can find it. If I could find it, actually, hold on. If I could find it, hold on. If I could find it, hold on one second. If I could find it, yes. All right, so another person to talk about is MJ Acosta Ruiz. Who is MJ Acosta Ruiz, you ask? She is an award-winning bilingual sports journalist and broadcaster who joined ESPN in 2024 as a Sports Center anchor for the show's edition, originating from Los Angeles, and a sideline reporter for ESPN Deportes Monday Night Football. She also serves as a commentator for NFL Network. Acosta Ruiz brings over 15 years of experience to ESPN, including her notable work at NFL Network, where she became the first Afro-Latina to host a show on the network. Her career at NFL Network began in 2018 as a Bay Area-based reporter covering the San Francisco 49ers and Oakland Raiders. Before that, she served as the lead sports anchor for NBC7 and Telemundo 20 in San Diego, covering the Chargers, Padres, and international soccer in both English and Spanish broadcasts. During her tenure at Telemundo, she earned a regional Emmy in the best newscast category. Acosta, sorry, Acosta Ruiz's journalism career also includes 3 years as a reporter for WPLG, an ABC affiliate in Miami and Fort Lauderdale, where she covered sports, entertainment, and breaking news. A former Miami Dolphins cheerleader, Acosta Ruiz is fully bilingual and has worked internationally across various platforms, reaching diverse audiences. A dedicated advocate for representation and equality, Acosta Ruiz is actively involved with women's empowerment organizations such as A Seat at the Table. In recognition of her contributions to the field of communications and her commitment to inclusivity, she was awarded an honorary doctorate of human letters from Barry University, her alma mater. In 2024, Acosta Ruiz graduated from Barry University with a bachelor's of arts and communication. Yeah, yeah. She was also a guest. She was also a guest on Good Morning Football Overtime, which I seen recently actually, um, which was last week. And yeah, of course, if you want to learn about her and all the women that I just dedicated today in this episode, as far as Women's History Month, which is a recognition of the accomplishments of all the hard work and accomplishments that they done. So happy Women's History Month to all the sports sideline reporters and analysts and all the above. All right, so let's get into let me see. Let's get into some more free agency stuff with the Giants actually. All right, so um okay, so the New York Giants are continuing to build their team and their new head coach John Harbaugh's image. NFL insider Jordan Schultz is reporting that the Giants are set to sign former Ravens punter Jordan Stout to a 3-year, $12.3 million contract. Yeah, and the move comes shortly after the Giants signed tight end Isaiah Likely to a 3-year deal, giving quarterback Jackson Dart a fresh new target to work with in the middle of the field. Stout came into the league with very high expectations as a fourth round pick in the 2022 NFL draft out of Penn State, which is an uncharacteristic time to select a punter. However, Stout was the best punter in college football during his final season at Penn State, leading to the Ravens taking him early on day 3. Harbaugh's background is in special teams, so taking Stout in the draft gave him a high level and confidence. Now he's doubled down by giving him the biggest contract for a punter in NFL history. Stout came into the league with high expectations as a fourth round pick in the 2022 NFL draft out of Penn State, which is an uncharacteristic time to select a punter. However, Stout was the best punter in college football during his final season at Penn State, leading to the Ravens taking him early on day 3. Harbaugh's background is in special teams, so taking Stout in the draft gave him a high level of confidence. Now he's doubled down by giving him the biggest contract for a punter in NFL history. Stout struggled in his first 3 seasons with the Ravens, but that all changed in the 2025 campaign. He recorded a career high 50.1 yards per punt and was named to the first Pro Bowl of his career. He was also on the All Pro first team for the first time of his career. Stout tied a Ravens franchise record with a 74-yard punt back in November against the New York Jets in a Week 12 contest at M&T Bank Stadium. So there you go, right there. And senior senior special teams coach Randy Brown tells me, if you do poorly, we're going to cut you. If you do okay, we'll resign you. If you do too well, I'm going to leave that part out. Stout said via Baltimore Ravens editorial director Ryan Mink, it's going well. It seems like Stout did too well because now he's moving on from the Ravens to the Giants, where he will look at excuse me, where he will look to have similar punts like he did against the Jets. All right, another New York Giants news. Let's get into a little bit of hang on one second. Hang on one second here. Also, let me see who else they signed. Hold on one second. The bulk of the New York Giants free agency activity is done for now. Big Blue haven't filled needs across the board. What did they get right, and what did they whiff on based on the moves made or not made? Let's take a look at the major ones from this offseason. Okay, so the right thing they did was upgrading inside linebacker spot. So after cutting Okereke, Bobby o- Okereke, after cutting Bobby Okereke this off season, the Giants knew they needed to replace him in free agency before waiting for the draft. When Edmonds became available, it was an easy decision for the Giants to make, and best of all, they didn't have to trade assets to get him because they were patient. In 8 NFL seasons, Edmonds has um, recorded over 100 tackles in each of them, and he remains one of the high-level linebackers in the league. He is also an every down linebacker who offers a potential upgrade in coverage over that of Okereke. The Giants need a player who can lead the defense, and Edmonds has the leadership qualities to take the Giants where they need to go. Um, missed re-signing unproven project players. Let's see. With all of the tear down from the previous regimen, it's a bit of a surprise to see offensive lineman Evan Neal back with the Giants. Neal was the number 7 overall pick in the 2022 NFL draft out of Alabama, but he did not play like that in his first 4 NFL seasons. Last year, Neal, who played in only 2 of the 3 preseason games, never made it onto the field during the regular season. Eventually landed on the injured reserve, where he remained despite his 21-day window being opened later in the year. That said, head coach John Harbaugh apparently wants a bigger sample size on Neal, who in converting to guard last season only played 44 snaps. And who knows? Perhaps Neal is being seen as a reclamation project that Harbaugh is optimistic about. Still, with the Giants likely to draft an interior offensive lineman next month, and given the rocky road Neal's NFL career has taken, the move to bring him back is still a bit of a head scratcher. Signing a big slot receiving targets. Okay, the Giants were expected to add players from Harbaugh's previous team, the Baltimore Ravens, to help bridge the gap between old and new. Likely will be able to do that as one of the top tight ends in the league. Harbaugh has been a large fan of Likely ever since the Ravens selected him in the fourth round of the 2022 NFL Draft. He now has the opportunity to break out that he wasn't afforded with the Ravens because he was sitting behind Mark Andrews in the depth chart. Um, Although Likely's role hasn't been hasn't been announced by Harbaugh, it's believed that he will provide the Giants with a bigger, more physical target in the slot. Um, Not adding a starting guard. Oh boy. The Giants reportedly tried to land guard Elijah Vera Tucker from the Jets, only to lose out on him to the Patriots over money. There is also no known movement to possibly bring back Greg Van Roten, who has filled the right guard spot for the last two seasons. In short, the Giants have not added an established guard to fill the right guard opening and appear to have pivoted toward the draft to fill that role, with a prospect offering upside. Um, while the logic is not necessarily flawed, given the importance of continuing quarterback Jackson Dart's development, one would have thought that Big Blue might have pivoted to another established guard as a fallback plan, just in case Evan Neal, Joshua Izudu, and Aaron Stinney, all of whom return on one-year deals, prove not to be the answer. Upgrading the punter spot. When we talk about the Giants area that lacked the last year or two, one area that didn't get enough mention but should have was the punting unit. Last season, the Giants punted 59 times, 18th most in the league. Um, and that's 55 of those by Gillen, who missed one game due to a knee injury. Damn. Well, that's gotta suck though, right? That has to suck. That has to really suck right there. All right. Yeah. Let's keep going here. Yeah, where were we? Yes. Um Hold on, where were we? Let me see, where were we? Let me see. All right, so they recorded 4 touchbacks, tied for 14th, but ranked 30th in net yards per punt, 36.9 yards, 29th in punts placed inside the 20-yard line, 28.8%, and 29th in punts placed inside the 10-yard line, 8.5%. Let me see. Former punter Jamie Gillen was a mixed bag in that you never knew what he was going to produce on any given punt. Harbaugh, upon seeing this, turned to Jordan Stott, his Ravens punter, to revamp the Giants punting team, hoping to turn it from a weakness into a strength. Not adding another X receiver. Okay. Perhaps the Giants are planning to add an X receiver via the draft, or maybe they believe that from among Darnell Mooney and Calvin Austin III. They have their X receiver in place for the coming year. Still, if you look at what the Giants have at receiver, they have a lot of guys who have primarily been Z receivers in their careers. There's cautious optimism that Malik Neighbors is going to make a full recovery, but what they can't yet determine is when he'll get the full green light to return and if he will look the same as he did prior to his ACL injury. If the focus is on building around quarterback Jason Dart, as it should be, not having added another legitimate X receiver for the long term is a head scratcher, unless again they are planning to do so via the draft. Okay, let's see what else to talk about here. Let me see. I want to make sure I'm on track on things. Yes, there's basketball news I want to actually get into. There's basketball news I want to get into actually before I get to the Mets. All right. There's basketball news that I want to get to actually. Um, oh boy. What was this? Okay. Yeah. Let's go on to let's go into another story actually. Let's see. Let's see. This is gonna sound crazy, but all right. Oh boy. Poor Knicks. The New York Knicks missed out on an opportunity to clinch a position in the postseason following a 114 to 101 loss to the Charlotte Hornets on Friday night at Spectrum Center in Charlotte, North Carolina. Jalen Brunson led the Knicks with 26 points and 13 assists, but it wasn't enough to stop Con um, um, New Nuepel and his crew from ending New York's extended winning streak at 7 games. Bronson started the game with a 17-point first quarter, but cooled off considerably over the remainder of the game. The 29-year-old guard secured his first double since March 4th, and it represents his ninth contest this season with at least 10 plus points and assists. Teammate Carl Anthony Towns leads the NBA with 51 double doubles in 69 games during the 2025 to 26 campaign. Denver's Nikola Jokic is the only person within shouting distance of Towns' league leading mark at 49 double doubles in 59 contests for the Nuggets this year. Knicks head coach Mike Brown spoke about the adjustments he had made that has allowed Towns to flourish in New York this season. In quote, I had to adjust to him as well, Brown said after the Knicks 121 to 116 win over the New Orleans Pelicans on March 24th, following a 21 point, 14 rebound by Towns. That's what a season is about. I had to make some adjustments to figure out how I could get him involved a little bit better, get him to feel a little more comfortable. The 30-year-old center has recorded a double double in nearly every game since the calendar flipped over to the month of March. The Knicks big man finished with 13 points and 3 rebounds in the loss on Thursday. New York will lean on Brunson and Towns to reach the postseason over the next few weeks. Given their recent string of success, the Knicks will still have a chance to win the Atlantic Division, but the Boston Celtics hold 2 games in hand heading into the final weeks of the 2025 to 26 campaign. New York 48 to 26 holds a 12-3 record against the Atlantic, while Boston has struggled with a 9-5 record against divisional opponents. Still, both teams own a 7-3 mark over their last 10 games. So the fight for the division crown could come down to the final regular season fight between the two clubs in Midtown Manhattan at Madison Square Garden on April 9th. There's no reason for Knicks fans to panic, as there is plenty of time to clinch that playoff berth over the final 8 games of the regular season. New York finishes out the month on this 4-game road trip with the next stop in Oklahoma City, which takes place Sunday night. Yeah, which is today, actually. Oh, shit. Yeah, it is today. All right. Let me see if there's any other basketball news to talk about here. Let me see. Jeez. Let me see. Huh. Oh boy. So okay. Hold on. Okay. All right. So orange and blue jerseys worn by the New York Knicks faithful took over the upper deck of Mustang Harry's, an Irish pub and restaurant 2 blocks from Madison Square Garden on Saturday afternoon to meet Miles Deuce McBride during an event hosted by OmniFan. The backup guard hasn't been seen on the court since late January due to a groin injury that required surgery to repair. But when he made his way to the event, it felt as if he was still on the court with fans chanting Deuce. With players like Deuce, he's a fan favorite, and it feels really great bringing something to the community that fans really want. OmniFan co-founder Jennifer Gordon told AM New York, "This is really paramount towards delivering our mission, and being able to bring the fan community around something like this is priceless." In the lead up to his return, McBride took photos with fans and signed autographs as part of the meet and greet. It was a successful afternoon, drawing in a number of individuals who shared their love of the team and the player. When we get together, we call it a family reunion because even if we never met, we have interactions online and just through different touch points. Getting together physically is the culmination of all our figurative blood, sweat, and tears, Gordon said. Fellow OmniFan co-founder and Jennifer's sister, Jasmine Gordon, said that their goal is to give fans access that they aren't going to get through the Knicks organization. When we thought of OmniFan, we wanted to give fans access that they wouldn't typically receive, and it's a major priority when we have these meet and greets, she added. The event itself featured several menu items, including popcorn chicken and tacos named after McBride. Fans also entered into a raffle to potentially win 2 tickets to a Knicks game or a merchandise package from the New York or Nowhere clothing line. OmniFan hosted a trivia contest before McBride arrived an hour into the event. Um, let's see. Where was I? A few fans received prizes for having the correct answer to a question about McBride, who has quickly become a fan favorite in 5 seasons with the Knicks. Posters of the sharp shooting guard were put on sale for fans to buy and have autographed, while another fan displayed an artwork of McBride as an action hero standing over other NBA players. Deuce is an impactful player. He's not playing right now, but everyone is anticipating him to be back because we need him to get to the playoffs. One fan wearing a custom Knicks jacket and top hat told AM New York. He said he's been coming to OmniFan events for at least 10 years and that the event was a family thing. Another fan talked about her experience creating a scrapbook that includes all the statistics from the Knicks' past 13 seasons, dating back to 2013 when Hall of Famer Carmelo Anthony was at the forefront of their success. And also, you can catch him on 7 p.m. to Brooklyn Podcasts on streaming platforms and, of course, YouTube as well. She said she is a big fan of McBride and wanted him to autograph a copy of Deuce, the Champion of Friendship, a children's book he authored. She also noted that she loves combining her love of the team with her love of fashion to design custom Knicks apparel. OmniFan has some plan. Excuse me. OmniFan has some events planned in the lead up to the playoffs, including watch parties for Knicks games. Gordon was not able to disclose all the details, but did note that everyone should follow their Instagram account, which is Knicks Omni Fan, and view the information on their website, theomnifan.com. All right, now to the recap of the Pirates series that happened in Citifield. Of course, obviously, yesterday, before I get to that, I already discussed the I discussed the first game already from Thursday opening day. I recorded that on Thursday, episode 120. I already talked about that already. This is the second and third game I'm going to be talking about here. So, in Saturday's game, Luis Robert Jr. is off to a strong start in his New York Mets career. Traded from the Chicago White Sox in September, Robert Jr.'s presence has been felt in the first two games of the season, especially Saturday night. Robert Jr. hit the Mets' first walk-off of the 2026 season, a towering three-run home run over the 370 feet sign in center field, sending the Mets to a 4-2 win over the Pittsburgh Pirates in 11 innings. The walk-off homer on Saturday added to an impressive showing on opening day Thursday. In that game, Robert Jr., not exactly known for his plate discipline, posted a walk in a highly competitive 10 pitch at bat against ace Paul Skeens. That walk kickstarted the Mets offense into a huge first inning against the Pirates phenom. Manager Carlos Mendoza later said that whole inning was about that Luis Robert at bat. In all, he went on to go 2 for 4 with the aforementioned walk, 2 RBIs, and a run scored on Thursday. Fast forward to Saturday, Robert Jr. was 1 for 4, but his lone hit came in the one at bat that mattered the most, hitting the walk-off home run to send the Mets to victory in extra innings. He also walked once, reaching twice on Saturday, another display of his patience at the plate. And in quote, "I'm really excited," he exclaimed. "Being here on a new team, a new environment, it feels good to be able to get the win today," said Robert Jr. He discussed that everyone has been noticing in his patience at the plate, and that's exactly what he said newcomer Jeff Albert and the Mets hitting staff has been working on with him. Being selective, we're working on a lot. We're working on being more selective at the plate, said Robert Jr. In his post-game availability, Robert Jr. went on to call the walk-off special. "It's real special. I don't think I've hit a walk-off home run since 2020. So to be able to do it here in these last two games was special," he stated. Sorry, loud motorcycle passing by. Anyway, Robert Jr. and the Mets will go for the sweep over the Pirates, which happened today, which I will get to right now, actually, as a recap. All right, so here's what's going on here, man. As a recap, actually, so let's get to. Mm-hmm. Hold on. All right. So the Mets and the Pirates went to extra innings in a low scoring affair for the second day in a row. But this time, there were no walk off fireworks by the home team as the Mets fell to Pittsburgh 4-3 in 10 innings. Things got off to a nervy start immediately for Nolan Lightning McLean, who had trouble finding the strike zone in the first, walking the first two batters he faced. He bounced back to strike out the next batter, but then Ryan O'Hearn blew a single to left to put the Pirates on the board. Corin um, Carmen Meniski got off to a strong start by contrast, striking out the side in the bottom of the first. But after McLean rebounded with a quick 1-2-3 second, the Mets tied up the game in the bottom of the frame. Luis Roberts striding to the plate to the robust ovation from the Citifield crowd after last night's heroics. Hit a one-out single past the third baseman, Nick Gonzalez. The ball was hit sharply right at Gonzalez, but he failed to come up with it, and it sparked the rally for the Mets. Brett Beatty followed with a single up the middle, advancing Roberts to third. Marcus Simeon then tied the game at 1 run apiece with a sacrifice fly. The Mets threatened for more as Jared Triolo bobbled a Carson Bench grounder, allowing him to reach base safely, but Luis Turan struck out looking to end the threat. Pirates immediately jumped back ahead in the third on a solo home run by who else but Brandon Lau, who has killed the Mets all series long. It was the first home run McLean has allowed to a lefty in the major leagues. Meniski responded to it being given a lead to work with a strikeout the side again in the third, setting his career high for strikeouts. Um, McLean countered with a 1-2-3 inning of his own in the top of the fourth. The Mets threatened in the bottom of the fourth thanks to back-to-back one-out singles by Robert and Beatty again, but they did not score. The Pirates had a chance to extend their lead in the top of the fifth with a one-out bloop just over Bichette's head that rolled into foul territory by Lau that he stretched all the way into a double with some head up heads up base running, excuse me. McLean managed to strike out Brian Reynolds looking for the second out thanks to some generous calls by the home plate umpire that Reynolds inexplicably chose not to. McLean struck out Ryan O'Hearn as well to end the inning and hold the Pirates to 2 runs, ending his season. Ending his afternoon after 5 innings of work, over which he struck out 8 Pirates and walked 2. The Mets got McLean off the hook by tying the game in the bottom of the fifth with 1 out. Francisco Lindor hit a rocket off the wall in right center, that was not far away from leaving the yard and slid into third base safely with a triple. Juan Soto drove him in with an RBI single to tie the game. That ended Carmen Meniski's day, and former Met Johan Ramirez retired Bo Bichette, who has looked rough at the plate in the early going and looked particularly bad in this game, and Jorge Polanco to stymie the rally. Huascar Brazoban needed just 5 pitches to retire the Pirates in order in the sixth, and then recorded the first 2 outs of the seventh as well before making way for Sean Manaea, whose reduced velocity seems to have not yet rebounded. Manaea looked shaky, but ultimately got the job done. He allowed a 2-out single to O'Neal Cruz and made a throwing error on a pickoff attempt that allowed the go-ahead run to get into scoring position, but Marcus Semien made a nice play on the sharp grounder to second off the bat of Lau to help Minaya escape the jam. The Mets rallied but failed to score again in the bottom of the seventh, this time against Mason Montgomery. Montgomery proved to be a tough left-on-left matchup for Carson Bench, who struck out to lead off the inning, but Luis Torrens then hit a slow roller down the third baseline that stayed fair for an infield single. Lindor then singled, and a wild pitch advanced the runners to second and third. But Montgomery struck out Soto and Bichette back to back to wriggle his way out of the jam. After striking out the first two batters he faced in the eighth, Minaya walked two consecutive batters, but Nick Gonzalez grounded out to end the inning as both teams maintained their low success rate in the game with runners in scoring position. Isaac Matson contribute a 1-2-3 bottom of the eighth for Pittsburgh, and Luke Weaver worked around a pair of walks to pitch a scoreless ninth for the Mets. Don Kelly turned to his closer, Dennis Santana, for the third time in as many games, and Santana pitched a 1-2-3 ninth to send the Mets to extra innings for the second straight day. And for the second straight day, the Mets sent Dickie Lovelady, Richard Dickie Lovelady to the mound in a tie game in extra innings. It worked yesterday, but it did not work today, and Lovelady ended up being the losing pitcher after having been the winning pitcher in yesterday's sterling victory. Ryan O'Hearn, the batter, Lovelady was likely in there to match up against, singled to lead off the 10th and scored the ghost runner, but Lovelady bounced back to induce a double play grounder from Jared Triolo, and it seemed just like yesterday, like Lovelady might just manage to escape the inning, having yielded just the one unearned run. Unfortunately, Lovelady walked the next two batters, and then Henry Davis laced an RBI single to give the Pirates a 4-2 lead. That extra run is what would make the difference. The Mets had the top of the order up against Jose Urquidy in the bottom of the 10th, and Francisco Lindor got things off to an encouraging start by drawing a 7-pitch walk. Juan Soto then muscled a double deep in the gap in left center field to plate the Mets' third run, but Lindor was tagged out at home plate as the tying run, letting all the air out of what was perhaps building to another come from behind victory in extras. Bichette then grounded out to short for the second out, and Soto advanced to third base. There was one last spark of hope when Jorge Polanco gave the first pitch he saw from your kitty a rod to deep right field, and for the briefest of moments, it seemed like the Mets may have just done it again. But Billy Cook in the game as a pinch runner and defensive replacement secured the ball right up against the right field wall to end the game. Some people would basically blaming the third base coach for sending Lindor. That part I kind of understand actually, and of course, Bo Bichette had a rough time at the plate and on that stuff, and also folks out there who are Mets fans, y'all gotta understand something though, man. It's been 3 games already. They take 2 out of 3, so you might as well take 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3 isn't that bad though, and And a lot of times you also gotta remember that you're not going to be able to win all of the games. Okay. And even if you are trying to actually compete and try to actually, compete for a World Series championship or whatever, there are going to be there's going to be difficult hurdles and battles that you have to face. It's not easy to just go further to the World Series and then win the championship, all that stuff. So and also you got to also remember that it was pretty cold yesterday and today. All right. So you really got to understand that it was pretty cold, man. This is only the beginning of the regular season, though. And I will go over the schedule, the rest of the Mets schedule, and of course, I will mention that the two starters that's going to be happening tomorrow night, it is going to be Clay Holmes versus Lee no Kyle Healy. Each Yeah, HEA. Hold on, I'm blanking out here, man. Yeah, Kyle Healy. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, cause they go against the Cardinals tomorrow night. So I will actually, go over it with you folks out there. All right, so yeah, you always want to be in that moment, that you want to have a moment to actually help the team win, which is understandable of what Bo Bichette was trying to do. He's playing a new position that he's trying to get the hang of. And of course you're gonna go through growing pains, and to be a fan of the New York Mets, you're gonna have heartbreaks too, which is included. So this is just me this is just me being realistic here. You feel what I'm saying, folks? Okay, hold on one second. Speaking of speaking of Richard Dick Lovelady, yes, so the New York Mets brought back a familiar face to bolster their bullpen depth. The Mets claimed left-handed pitcher Richard Dick Lovelady off waivers from the Washington Nationals on Saturday. They also placed right-handed pitcher Justin Hangerman on the 60-day IL due to a rib fracture. Damn, that has to really, really, really suck right there, man. That has to really suck right there, man. That's terrible and awful. Hopefully he'll be able to make his recovery. Um yeah, it's crazy, right? It's really crazy. Yes, I know this is terrible of a pitcher to actually get an injury like that though, man. Um yeah, hold on. Yeah, a rib fracture is a serious injury that you're not going to actually, you know, come back from right away. Let's see. The Mets utilized Hangerman as an optional bullpen piece last season. He appeared in 9 games with one start, posting a 4.56 ERA across 23.2 innings. They will be without the right-hander. Hang on. They will be without the right-hander for at least the next 2 months. Lovelady pitched for both the Mets and Toronto Blue Jays in 2025 of last year. The lefty posted a 8.49 ERA in 11.2 big league innings. As a Met, Lovelady produced a 6.30 ERA across across 8 appearances and 10 innings. For his career, Lovelady has a 5.35 ERA and 118 appearances in the major leagues as a reliever. His best campaign in the major leagues came in 2022 with the Kansas City Royals, where he produced a 3.48 ERA in 20.2 innings. Lovelady posted a 2.25 ERA in 4 innings for the Nationals in spring training this year. The Mets designated Lovelady for assignment on 4 separate occasions before the Nationals picked them up. New York will be hoping that the fifth time will be the charm with Lovelady. All right, so with Lovelady now back in the fold, the lefty will be competing for a spot in the Mets bullpen in camp. However, the Mets bullpen looks pretty crowded at the moment. As it stands, Devin Williams, Luke Weaver, Tobias Myers, Luis Garcia, and Brooks Raley are locks for this unit. Beyond that, there are 2 more spots remaining if the Mets indeed opt to go with a 6-man rotation to begin the year. They're not going with a 6-man rotation at the moment. They're going with a 5-man rotation. So pretty much that's what it is. The final 2 spots will likely go to a future Hall of Fame closer, Craig Kimbrough, who, by the way, didn't make the opening day roster. So he got sent down to AAA Syracuse. And Huascar Brazaban, who I just saw in the game today, who is pitching for the Dominican Republic, who was pitching in the Dominican Republic for the World Baseball Classic. Kimbrough, who signed a minor league deal with the Mets in January, has looked solid in Grapefruit League play with a 2.25 ERA in 4 innings. He will make $2.5 million if he makes the Mets major league roster. Brazaban tossed 3 shutout innings for the Mets in the Grapefruit League before joining the Dominican Republic team. The veteran right-hander notched 5 strikeouts as well. Lefty Brian Hudson is also trying to crack the Mets bullpen, but has struggled this spring with a 11.57 ERA in 2.1 innings. Brian Hudson did not make the opening day roster, so that's pretty much what that is. All right, so let's see. All right, let me see. Oh, before I go on, man, let me talk about Tampa Bay for a sec. Let me talk about Tampa Bay for a sec. Um, a group of a group led by Florida-based real estate developer Patrick Zalup Zalewski closed on its purchase on the Tampa Bay Rays on Tuesday, finalizing the sale of the team from former owner Stuart Sternberg. Major League Baseball owners unanimously approved the transaction last week. Um, yeah, this took place posted in September on September 30th, which was months ago. So I figured I just actually talk about it here. So the price was not disclosed. It's an incredible honor to become the stewards of the Tampa Bay Rays, a franchise with a proud history and a bright future, Zalewski said in a statement. We're all energized by the responsibility to serve Rays fans everywhere in this great game. We will work hard to earn the respect and confidence of our fans and new MLB partners, and we are excited about the upcoming challenge to deliver a world-class experience on and off the field. Zalewski's group, which also includes Bill Cosgrove and Ken Babby, is expected to restart the search for a new ballpark. The Rays in March withdrew from a $1.3 billion project to construct a new ballpark adjacent to Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, citing a hurricane and delays that likely drove up the proposal's cost. Zalewski, CEO of Jacksonville-based Dream Finders Home Incorporated, will be the team's control person and a co-chair along with Cosgrove, CEO of Union Home Mortgage in Ohio. Babby, CEO of Fast Forward Sports Group, will be CEO. Fast Forward owns the AAA Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, a Miami Marlins affiliate, and the AA Akron Rubber Ducks, a Cleveland Guardians farm team. Eric Neander, in his 19th season with the Rays, will remain as president of baseball operations. Tampa Bay said the new ownership group includes Dan Doyle Jr., Doug Hertz, Matt Silverman, Robert Skinner. Skinner? Oh, shit. Will Weatherford and Rick Workman. Who will be part of an executive advisory board that will include Fred Ridley as an independent member. Silverman has been with the Rays for 22 years, including 17 as team president. Damn. Major League Baseball is pleased to welcome Patrick and his partners to the ownership ranks. Commissioner Rob Manfred said their collective experience and passion for the game will serve the Rays well as they enter this exciting new chapter. Sternberg took control of the team from founding owner Vince Namoli in November 2005 and rebranded it the Rays from the Devil Rays after the 2000 season. The Rays won AL East titles in 2008, 2010, 2020, and 2021, and twice reached the World Series, losing to Philadelphia in 2008 and to the Los Angeles Dodgers in 2020. Damn. That's crazy. So yeah, that's your little update of the stadium that got sold. All right, so let me see what else to talk about here. Oh yeah, let me see. Yeah, let me see. Yes, so this is all right. So in the middle of the 2024 season, the best decision possible was made with Nolan Lightning McClain. He dropped hitting to focus on his pitching. How that turned out? He's only the number one New York Mets prospect and a guy expected to anchor the rotation for years to come. It doesn't get much more unique than what McClain was doing. A Mets prospect with some unconventional qualities is in a similar yet far less fascinating ship. Chris Suero hits the ball hard, far, and is becoming a name fans should familiarize themselves with. What's so special about him? Other than being a New Yorker, he's a catcher, outfielder with the ability to steal bases. With MJ Melendez in camp as well, who also got sent to AAA Syracuse as well. Um, a catcher who moved to the outfield. The Mets get yet another reminder. Hold on, another reminder of why they may be better off making Suero less unique and just really good at a few things. All right, Mets prospect Chris Suero should either stick to catching or drop it altogether. How valuable is it to have a third string catcher, third third string catcher on the roster? You are rarely going to use him. Over in the Bronx, Ben Rice is kind of an example of what Sorrell can be. Rice caught 36 games for the 2025 Yankees while playing an additional 50 at first base and 48 more at DH. Suero is seemingly more athletic, patrolling left field. Um, patrolling left field on a regular basis. He has a strong arm behind the plate, which shouldn't just disappear. Melendez, as an example of a catcher who moved to the outfield, has maintained his cannon. Most of last season for Suero was spent at catcher with a light shift into left field and first base duties. The Mets don't have to completely have him drop that part of his game. However, with a season that'll feature him starting the year at Double A, why not repeat history? Why not repeat history and have him focus on one thing rather than multiple? Suero hit 16 home runs, stole 35 bases, and had a 233, 379, 407 slash line last season in high A and double A combined. He is no doubt a rising prospect within the system. His place within the organization is just in question because he has no one true position. Lingering questions about Francisco Alvarez behind the plate could have him in a more shared duty there by 2027. That's if the fucking lockout doesn't happen. Luis Torrens is a free agent after this coming season. He might also just simply start off as a bench piece capable of filling in at a multitude of roles. First base is open for competition. Right field can be too. It's a big unknown as to where Suero eventually finds his place within the Mets organization. Turning him into more of a basic slugger and taking away his uniqueness might not be such a bad thing if the end result is similar to what happened with McLean. He went from a good pitching prospect to a phenom. Okay. Let me see. Let me see if I have anything to talk about here. Yes, I want to talk about the Christian Scott update before I get to anything else. Before I get to say anything else, I want to, yeah, Christian Scott. Let's see. Christian Scott, where is he? Oh, wait. Yeah, wait. Hold on a second. Christian Scott, where is he? Oh, wait. Oh boy. Okay. All right. Let me just get to before I get to Christian Scott, let me talk about Kevin Hergert. Let's talk about Kevin Hergert for a sec. Kevin Hergert returns to the Mets. The right-handed New Jersey native was drafted by the Cardinals back in 2013 out of Keene University. He would eventually make his major league debut with the Rays in 2022 when he was 31 years old. Since then, he was He has pitched for the Reds, Brewers, Mets, Braves, and now back to the Mets. Hergert pitched 12 innings for the Mets in 2025 over six games, allowing 5 runs, 4 earned from 11 hits and 3 walks. He struck out 6 batters and had a 3.00 ERA, 2.89 FIP, 1.167 WHIP, and a 138 ERA plus. 138 ERA plus. Okay. His baseball savant page metrics were intriguing, even in a small sample size. Hergert didn't fool anyone. Hitters chased him 25.5% and whiffed only 12.5% of the time. That's below the 10th percentile. The average exit velocity though on his pitches was 87.2 miles per hour, which would be around the 90th percentile. It looks like no one even hit a barrel off of him last season. Let's see. Most of Hergert's innings last year came in 4 outings from late August through September after a terrific campaign with Syracuse. Over 23 games, he pitched 32 innings with a 2.81 ERA and 1.125 WHIP. This was better than his 14 and 2/3 innings with Gwinnett in the Braves system, where he had a 3.68 ERA and a 1.295 WHIP. Last season, Hergert used his low 90s four-seamer 44% of the time and low 80s changeup 36.6% of the time. He also had a cutter that he worked in a bit and a curveball that he tossed twice. Hitters had a 211 batting average against his fastball, but his XBA was 298. The results on his changeup 227 BA were closer to their expected value 231. Hergert is probably not going to win a job with the Mets bullpen straight out of spring training. His role is the same as last year. He's available when the Mets need a veteran arm to fill a gap. Hergert was that pitcher for the Mets from late August through the rest of the season, saving the bullpen by throwing multiple innings in a game 3 times in his final 4 appearances. Now let's get to the Christian Scott update. Let me see. Where is it? Let's get to the Christian Scott. Let's get to the Christian Scott thing. Hold on a sec. Let me see. Okay. Who are the options? All right, so actually, hold on. Let me look for the Christian Scott update. Hold on a second. Hold on 1 second here. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Who are the option? Let me see. Hold on. Hold on 1 second here. Hold on. Okay. Here's a little update on Christian Scott. All right, so summers in Port St. Lucie can be hot and monotonous. Hold on, monotonous. Hang on a second here. Yeah, monotonous breeding grounds for boredom. For Christian Scott, a summer spent rehabbing Tommy John surgery meant finding ways to occupy himself. Scott learned to cook, mostly steaks and breakfast foods. He taught himself chess, finding online opponents from places as far flung as India. You try to have different activities to keep you busy, Scott said. But yeah, I was definitely really bored for sure. Let me see. Now though, Scott isn't so bored anymore. Monday he stretched out to 56 pitches over 3+ innings, allowing 3 runs and striking out 4 Nationals batters in the Mets 12-6 loss. While Scott is unlikely to make the Mets opening day roster given the presence of 6 healthy starters above him. Let's see. Let me see. Where is it? Oh boy. Let me see. Let me see. Uh yeah. Yeah, while Scott is unlikely to make the Mets opening day roster, given the presence of 6 healthy starters above him on the depth chart, he is building a credible case to be the first arm up once an injury strikes. In quote, um, he had to work really hard, manager Carlos Mendoza said. This is a guy that's not afraid. He's not afraid. He attacks and stays on the attack. I think it's just keeping him healthy because he's going to be a big part of this team moving forward. It wasn't so long ago that Scott was in camp with the same type of hype that Nolan Lightning McLean and Jonah Tong have now. The Mets' top pitching prospect heading into the 2024 season, Scott dominated AAA Syracuse for 9 starts before debuting in the majors and holding his own for 9 more. Just as Scott's star seemed to be ascending, however, he snapped the ulnar collateral ligament in his right elbow, necessitating Tommy John surgery. That first off season was the toughest as Scott passed interminable hours in Florida. Unable to throw, once spring came around, the right-hander's outlook improved. He began playing catch and checking all the boxes he needed to check. He spent much of his downtime with teammates Drew Smith, Albert Azalea, and Calvin Ziegler, all of whom were also recovering from Tommy John. Those 4 formed a small rehab clique, spending hours at the pool together to starve off that ever encroaching boredom. All the while, Scott used every resource at his disposal to improve. In the weight room, he and trainers drew up a plan that helped him pack on 8 to 10 pounds of muscle with an eye toward improving his stamina, both within games and over the course of the season. From Smith, Scott learned the grip for a cut fastball that has essentially replaced his slider. He also added a kick changeup that he's flashed on occasion this spring. While those pitches weren't perfect in Monday's relief outing, Scott still generated 7 whiffs on his splitter and 4 more on his fastball, offering glimpses of his ceiling. The stuff is electric, man, Mendoza said. When he's healthy, he can do special things. For Scott, a college reliever at the University of Florida who converted to full-time starting work in the low majors, those special things will require moving into uncharted territory. Dating as far back, dating as far back as his college days, Scott has never even reached 90 innings in a season. Provided Scott stays healthy this summer, the Mets may ask him for many, many more than that. It will be a challenge for sure, but one he's ready to tackle. At the very least, Scott doesn't need to be bored anymore. Yeah, I'm excited, he said. Sometimes you take it for granted going out and doing this for a living, but taking a year and a half off, you want to go out there and show what you are capable of. Obviously, I know there's a lot of guys coming up behind you, so you want to be able to stay healthy and do that at a consistent level. I'm excited for that. So there you go. That was your Christian Scott update. I want to get to Jonah Tong for a quick second. Jonah Tong, who the New York Mets recently confirmed would start at the AAA level, struggled in his final spring outing of the season as the Mets dropped their final game at Clover Park 7-5 to the Houston Astros. Tong threw 4 1/3 innings, giving up 3 runs on 6 hits and struck out 4. He has now pitched 7 innings in spring training games, giving up 6 earned runs, allowing 9 hits. Tong did also have a start against Nicaragua prior to the beginning of the World Baseball Classic. Despite only allowing a run, he only threw 2 2/3 innings, allowing 5 hits and needing 54 pitches. Of his 79 pitches he threw on Saturday, Tong threw 53 4 strikes and produced 8 swings and misses in the outing. All 4 of his strikeouts came on his changeup, which was very impressive despite the uneasy outing on paper. As mentioned, Tong will open the season in AAA. The Mets want Tong to develop more, and Saturday, as well as spring overall, showed he does still need that additional time in the minors. Yes, that's very true. That's very true, actually. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see if there's anything else that I need to talk about. Oh, oh yeah. Let's talk about the 2026 Mets King of Spring Training. Let's talk about that as well. Let's talk about that too. Hold on one second. All right. Let's see. Let me see. Where is it? Where is it? The King. Wait, where is this? Oh boy. Okay, where is it? Where is it? Here we go. All right. Okay, with an off day for the Mets in Grapefruit League action today, there are just 4 days worth of games left before opening day. This is previously actually. Before opening day next week, after spring training concludes, I will post a final poll with all of our candidates' cumulative spring training stats and coast point totals. Well, he meant to say post. Okay, so post point totals, and we will determine the winner. In the meantime, let's see where things stand with our field of coast candidates as we approach the final stretch of the 2026 coast contest. So you got Christian Pache, 464, 516, 786, and 28 at bats. With just 4 days worth of spring training games left to go before opening day, Pache shares the team lead in hits with Carson Bench, who made the team recently and playing right field with 13. One of the hits he amassed since our last update was a home run, his second one this spring. He's an elite defender, Carlos Mendoza said of Pache, who has impressed on both sides of the ball this spring. Offensively, we've seen him hit the ball hard up the middle and run the bases. There are a lot of tools there. It's good to see him getting results. He is not likely to make the team, but he is definitely a close favorite as a guy who perfectly embodies the spirit of the contest. Someone who came out of nowhere and turned some heads. He will be useful depth for the Mets to have in Triple A. MJ Melendez, updated stats for MJ Melendez, who was optioned to the minor league camp yesterday in a flurry of cuts. His sample size is probably not large enough to be a serious coast contender due in part to his participation in the World Baseball Classic, but he is a worthy mention for having made an impression during his brief time in camp. Austin Barnes, who got released, Barnes has logged just 2 at bats since our last update, but he got a hit in one of them, which improves his already impressive overall Grapefruit League batting line slightly. Coast points 1, total coast points 4. Mike Tautman, 280, 419, 520, and 25 at bats before he got that meniscus knee injury. Mike Tautman continues to be in the starting lineup most days for the Mets in Grapefruit League action, and it's becoming increasingly likely he may make the opening day roster, even if Carson Bench also earns a spot, which he did. Something that is working in his favor is that he holds an opt-out for March 25th. I'm not sure if he did. So if he doesn't make the roster, the Mets risk losing him altogether. Here's the thing about that one right there, though, man. Here's the thing about that. From according to what SNY posted, he's going to be out between 3 to 6 weeks. All right. Tautman has been productive this spring, and although he has more of a major league track record than some of our other coast candidates, he deserves a lot of consideration if he forces his way onto the roster with his spring performance, an outcome that was perhaps unexpected at the start of spring training. Yeah, he's also the same age as Marcus Semien, age 35, by the way. Of Tautman's 7 hits in Grapefruit League play, he went for extra bases, including a home run. He also walked 4 times and drove in 6 runs. Coast points 3, total coast points 8. Vidal Brujan also got sent down to AAA as well. He has 231, 375, 231, and 26 at bats. Another player who continues to get looks is Vidal Brujan, who has an outside chance of making the team if the Mets decide they need an infielder instead of a 5th outfielder. But as Francisco Lindor continues to progress and remain on track for opening day, Brujan's chances of making the roster decline. Also in decline is his statistical output since our last update when he was first added to the Coast field. Yeah, Coast points 1, total coast points 5. Yeah, he got sent down to AAA as well, so he didn't make the roster. He didn't make the roster as well. Hold on. All right. Tobias Myers, 1.86 ERA, 1.14 WHIP, 12 strikeouts in nine and two third innings. Myers continues to be excellent overall this spring, even if his most recent outing against the Marlins wasn't as stellar as his other appearances. His 12 strikeouts are tied with Freddie Peralta for the second most on the team behind Clay Holmes. The Mets are tinkering with Myers' arm angle and his repertoire, and the results have spoken for themselves so far. Particularly when it comes to the induced vertical break on his fastball. Myers is a lock to make the bullpen as the Mets' long man, but it wouldn't be surprising if he ends up in the rotation at some point if he continues pitching well. Myers is prepared for whatever role the Mets have for him. To be DFA 3 times when you are still starting your career really opens your eyes and makes you realize you need to go out there and get it. Myers recently said to the New York Post, in quote, "I learned you've got to be good when called upon. You've got to commit and be available. Coast points 3, total coast points 7. Um, okay, Robert Stock, um, 0.00 ERA, 0.33 WHIP, 6 strikeouts in 3. IP. I don't know what that IP stands for, but I'll look for that later. Obviously, no new updates on Robert Stock, who is dealing with thoracic outlet syndrome. We will always remember his brief Shining Coast campaign. No points. Um, total coast points 3. Austin Warren, 2.25 ERA, 1.25 WHIP, 2 strikeouts in 4 IP. Um, Warren has not made any appearances since last week's update, but remains in big league camp for now. No points, total coast points 3. Matt Turner, 0.00 ERA, 1.00 WHIP, 6 strikeouts in 5 IP. Matt Turner was reassigned to minor league camp at the beginning of the month, and while he still logged some appearances in Grapefruit League action after that, he hasn't appeared in any games since our update last week. He ends his coast campaign with a perfect 0.00 ERA and has an intriguing coast case if you want to get a little weird with it. No coast points, and total coast points is 6. All right. Now we can get to the hold on. All right, let's get to 2 things actually. This is basically this one's app related actually. So let's I want to get into this actually. And according to Mets news links, okay, so here's what's going on here. So this took place on March 17th, Flushing, New York. The New York Mets, Odyssey and Sportsbug today announced an agreement to deliver real-time, no delay digital radio play-by-play to fans attending games at Citifield, begun with the Mets opener on March 26th, which was Thursday. Currently, listening to play-by-play digital audio in stadiums typically comes with delays of 30 to 90 plus seconds, making it nearly impossible to follow a broadcast while watching the game live. Sportsbug's technology reduces that delay to under 1 second. Through the MLB Ballpark app, fans inside Citifield can listen to the New York Mets radio play-by-play broadcast on WHSQ 8:80 a.m. featuring Howie Rose, who's retiring this year, Keith Rad, and Pat McCarthy, in sync with the live action on the field. The service works on any mobile device with any wireless carrier and with any headphones. There is no cost to fans. Sportsbug's platform uses existing professional play-by-play broadcasts and delivers them over standard 4G and 5G wireless networks. It requires no new hardware in the venue and no changes to the existing broadcast infrastructure. The technology integrates directly with the MLB Ballpark app, which is already installed by millions of fans. Partnering with Sportsbug to bring real-time radio audio to the ballpark will transform how fans connect with the game, said John Rico, Senior Vice President, Business Operations. New York Mets, by syncing the atmosphere and energy of watching a game at Citi Field with the iconic voices of Mets radio on Odyssey. We're delivering a more immersive and connected experience to our fans. And quote, listening to the radio at the ballpark is as familiar and comfortable as the seventh inning stretch, said Chris Olivero, Chris Olivero, Chief Business Officer and New York Market President, Odyssey. This partnership with the Mets and Sportsbug will bring the home team voices fans love right to their seats each and every game. We are thrilled to be working with the Mets and RC to bring Sportsbug's fan engagement, real-time audio to the fans in Citi Field, said Chuck Bortnick, Chief Operating Officer, Sportsbug. We look forward to helping the New York Mets with their fan experience goals and Odyssey in growing their Mets listening audience. Okay, so about Odyssey. Odyssey is a leading audio content and entertainment company. As champions of audio, we connect with people in the moments that matter, delivering trusted local news, passionate sports, and your favorite music across 220 plus radio stations, premium podcasts, live events, and digital experiences that reach more than 200 million listeners every month. Odyssey creates compelling content, foster deeply engaged audiences, and deliver outcomes that matter for advertisers. You want to learn more information, you can learn more at www.odysseyinc.com and join the conversation on LinkedIn, X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. You can follow them on social media. Yes, so and about Sportsbug delivers real-time audio to fans inside sports venues. The company's platform transmits existing professional play-by-play broadcasts to smartphones over 4G and 5G networks with sub 1 second delay. Traditional streaming audio reaches in stadium fans with delays of 30 seconds to over 2 minutes, making it impractical to listen while watching live. Sportsbug eliminates that gap. The platform requires no venue hardware installation and works with any mobile device and carrier. So there you go, right there. Also, the MLB ball cap, the MLB ballpark. Let's talk about that as well. Hold on. Let's talk about that. let's see, MLB Ballpark app. Let's talk about that. All right, clubs offering. Okay, so MLB Ballpark digital. Hold on, I'm sorry. MLB Ballpark digital ticketing. Clubs offer digital ticketing features, which will allow you to present existing tickets at the ballpark for entry and accept and forward ticket inventory to and from individuals directly from the MLB Ballpark application. For step-by-step instructions on accessing your tickets in the app, please refer to the sections below. For video tutorials on how to use the MLB Ballpark app, please refer to the club-specific tutorials linked at the bottom of the page. Accessing your tickets in the MLB Ballpark, select clubs offer additional digital ticketing features which will allow you to purchase new tickets, present owned tickets at the ballpark for entry, and forward ticket inventory to and from individuals directly from the MLB Ballpark app. Wallet section of the tickets tab. For clubs or venues that do not support the additional features, the ability to view and present tickets for entry will remain available through the tickets and home tabs on the day of the ticketed event. All right, so there you go, right there. I don't want to go into all this though, but I do want to actually hold on a second, man. I don't want to go through all this though, man. But this is from MLB.com/tickets ballpark digital ticketing. You can check out the information for yourself. Let's see. All right, the official ballpark app, your game day experience starts here. Download the MLB Ballpark app. The MLB Ballpark app is your all-in-one game day companion, built to keep you informed, prepared, and connected throughout the entire ballpark experience. Your digital tickets are stored securely on your device and easy to manage, share, or transfer to friends and family before you even get to the gate. Browse the full season schedule to plan around special promotions and themed events, and use detailed ballpark maps to find your seats, locate food options, and explore everything the venue has to offer. Enable push notifications to get real-time updates on gate openings, weather alerts, concession deals, and other time-sensitive information throughout the day. Whether you are a first-time attendee or a season ticket holder, the MLB Park app puts everything you need in one place. You can download it from your Apple Store or your Google Play Store. All right. All right. So key features include secure digital tickets. Keep your tickets safe with fraud resistant rotating barcodes stored directly on your device for fast, secure entry at the gate. Multi-team ticket management. Manage tickets across all your MLB teams in one place. No app switching required. Easy ticking Easy ticket sharing. Send tickets to your friends or your family via text, email, or shareable link. Instant transfer confirmations gives everyone peace of mind before they arrive. Season scheduling planning. Browse team schedules and plan around the games that matter most, whether that is a theme night, a giveaway, or an exclusive fan discount. Ballpark info at a glance. Know before you go. Access bag policies, gate opening times, parking details, and more, so your arrival to the ballpark is smooth. Your fan history. Look back on every game you have attended with a personal feed of your ballpark visits, uh, complete with dates, final scores, and highlights from each trip. And yeah, so there you go, right there. And yeah, App highlights, of course, purchasing tickets, open the app, tap tickets, pick your pick your game, and you are done. Every ticket is 100% authentic and secured the moment you purchase. Use the interactive seating app to find the right spot, then check out in seconds with Apple Pay, Google Pay, or save card details. Your ticket appear in the app instantly and can be added to your Apple Wallet for offline access and quick entry at the gate. Need help? Our support team is always available. Now, ticket access. If you purchase tickets using the same email address linked to your MLB Ballpark app account, your tickets will automatically appear in the app. However, you may need to verify your email address to access and manage them. To verify your email account, hold on a sec. To verify your email account, tap the profile icon in the bottom bar and select MLB account emails. From there, you can request a verification email to be sent to the address used for your ticket purchase. Simply click the verify email link in the email you receive, and your tickets will be accessible in both the tickets tab and home tab. Um, Forwarding tickets, head to the tickets tab, tap wallet, and select the game you are attending. From your ticket list, tap the forward button and choose which tickets to send. To forward via enter an address manually, pull one from your contacts, or tap a recent recipient to resend in one tap. The recipient will get an email or push notification confirming the tickets are on their way. No email address. Use the share link option and send tickets directly through text. Having your number saved in their context helps ensure the message does not get filtered as unknown. Once they tap the link, the tickets will be waiting in their MLB Ballpark app account. Let's see. At the game, enable location services to unlock venue specific features, real-time ballpark information, and exclusive check-in offers when you arrive. Turning on notifications keeps you in the loop on your tickets, gate updates, and special promotions throughout the day. Once you are at the game, the home and team tabs are your go-to for everything venue related. Browse stadium maps, jump into interactive games, find concession info, and access and game features, all designed to make your experience better from first pitch to final out. When the game wraps up, head to my history in the profile tab to revisit every game you have attended all in one place. And yeah, MLB go ahead entry. MLB encourages fans to keep their eyes on the ball with a fast, hands free way to enter the stadium using the new MLB go ahead entry lanes. Fans 18 plus and up can simply opt in and register using the MLB Ballpark app, and all tickets tied to their account will be eligible for go ahead entry. MLB's go ahead entry technology uses a camera that will identify any participating fan as a registered member of the program as they walk in with their group, automatically scanning tickets once identified. All right, registered today Register today in the MLB Ballpark app or visit MLB.com/go ahead entry to learn more about participating teams and registration details. And by the way, the name of this episode is We Got the Best Citifield Foods and Much More. This is where I actually talk about the two apps and everything else in between. And yeah, and the food. So we're gonna talk about the food that they have at Citifield. So I'll actually get into it right here. Let me see. Where is it? Where is it? Promotional guides. All right. Let's see. That's not it. No. Where's the food? Where's the food thing? Hold on 1 second, folks. Hold on 1 second. One measly second. Hold on, folks. Let me look for it. Let's see. All righty then. Let me see. Where is this? Here we go. So, and this is according to QNS.com. So, of course, with opening day just over a week away, which already started, the New York Mets on Wednesday showed off several notable features that those who visit Citi Field can enjoy this year. After Citi Field set an attendance record in the 2025 season, ballpark operations is optimistic that additional upcoming events and new food options as diverse as the borough of Queens can help make sure a new high is reached in 2026. All right, hold on. Before I even go over the foods thing, man, I think it's best I actually cover this one. Before I go over the foods thing, let's cover the expansion of what the Mets are trying to do here. While the land around Citi Field continues to be developed, specifically with the construction of Etihad Park across the street, the Mets are offering expanded transportation options for headed to the ballpark in 2026. The team is launching a dedicated site that will also allow fans to create custom location-specific travel plans to Citi Field based on real-time transportation and traffic situations. Fans driving to the game will have the opportunity to prepay for parking for the first time ever. The prepaid price will remain at $40, while drive-up parking will be at $50. Ooh, that shit has to be so cool right now, man. That shit has to be so cool right now. Yeah, most definitely. Hmm. All right. Let me see. Where is it? Oh boy, where is it? All right. I know where I left off. Okay. Where were we? Yes. So those looking for discounted parking can park at Skyview Mall, Flushing Commons, or Flushing Plaza. In an effort to cut down on car traffic, the Mets have collaborated with the MTA to knock off $5 off Long Island Railroad adult day pass tickets, while kids are only $1. Shuttles will be Shuttles will also be provided directly to Citifield from designated malls in New Jersey, the Bronx, Westchester, and on Long Island. The fan experience is our top priority, Katie Haas, executive vice president of ballpark operations, said. As the area around City Field undergoes changes, we're excited to offer fans more ways than ever to get to the ballpark. These new options provide greater flexibility today, and we're equally excited about the long-term vision for the area and what it will mean for the fan experience in the years ahead. All right. Now let me continue with the food selections. All right, so and let's continue with the food selections here. Let's see. Yes, in addition to hosting Mets home games this season, Citi Field will also feature excuse me, will feature 5 NYCFC MLS home games on April 4th, April 18th, May 3rd, May 6th, and September 9th. The Gotham Football Club playing in the Queens Classic on July 15th, and live concerts from Noah Kahan on July 18th and 19th. Um, Fierza Regina on August 7th, and My Chemical Romance on August 9th. Okay. Citi Field is set to have 37 different new food items available in 2026. In addition to numerous returning favorites, the food comes via 27 different partnerships, including with New York Mets legend Mookie Wilson, whose legacy catering by Mookie Wilson and family will be providing delicious barbecue food in the Hudson Whiskey New York Club on the promenade level of the ballpark. Yum. End quote. My girls and I have been cooking for a long time, and we've been serving people in the South at home for many years. We decided we wanted to do something that would keep us around baseball, Wilson said. We created this mobile catering service, and we did the block parties at Citi Field last year. We were fortunate enough to be invited to partner with the Mets and and our mark to be inside the stadium. So now people can enjoy what we do year round. It's been an absolute joy so far. It's been a joy to come back and be a part of the other part that people come to the ballpark, which is food. I hope that I fulfilled their expectations. I hope I did when I played, and I hope even more so with the food. Some of the other partners that will have food and or drinks available this season at Citi Field include Chef Kwame's Patty Palace, Shake Shack, Pat LaFreda's Chop House, the Queensboro, Tacos de Napoles, Big, excuse me, Pig Pig Beach Barbecue. Yes, Pig Beach Pop Pig Beach Barbecue, which is what BBQ stands for. Yeah, Pig Beach BBQ, Prime Kosher Sports, Eat in the Cave, The Amazing Deli, Amazing Chicken Co., which is short for company. Walk and Roll, not rock and roll, Walk and Roll, WOK. Napoli's Pizza Company, Chitty's Cheesesteaks, C.O. Bird, Adam Richman's Burger Hall of Fame, Hildebrandt's Ice Cream, Mr. and Mrs. Mets Candy Shop, the Metropolitan Fry Factory, Dole Whip Suburban Life, Napa Cellars, Sea Glass Wine Company, um, Allagash Brewing Company, and William Grant and Sons. All right. What else they have here? I did hear that they have like a dessert. They have like a dessert. I believe that's a what is it called though, man? Hold on. Let me hold on. Let me just go over the yeah, let me go over the I'm not gonna go over the notable promotions and stuff because I posted this on my sports community tab in regards to the promotion schedule for the New York Mets. Y'all can take a look at it for yourselves. I am going to make sure that actually yeah, there's a lot of food. There's a lot of food that they have here though, man. You know what I'm saying? Um, so so yeah, as work progresses on Metropolitan Park, expanded transportation will be available to those going to the ballpark this year. Prepaid parking will be available for the first time ever. Those who take the Long Island Railroad to the game will get $5 discounts with kids tickets costing just $1. Designated malls on Long Island in New Jersey, in the Bronx, and in Westchester will also have shuttle service available to the stadium. Yeah. What's that one dessert? I saw this actually. I'm trying to look at this though. What is that one dessert? Because I actually saw this actually while I was watching New York Living last week with Marisol Castro, who's also the the voice announcer for the New York Mets, by the way, in case you didn't know that. Um, let me see. There's a I'm trying to let me see. Let me see this. Okay, let me take a look at the foods at City Field. City, yeah, City Foods. Yeah, let's take a look here, man. Okay, best foods. There's a whole list, man. Hold on. There's a whole list. There is a whole list. There's a dessert that I saw actually, which I found interesting. I'm trying to see, man. Wait a minute here. Mm, wait a minute. Cornbread. Yeah, I did see that actually. Hold on. Hold on one second. Eating cave. Okay, Eating the Cave. They have like, let me see. Let me just take a look here. I already talked about that already. Mookie's thing. I already talked about that already, but I just wanted to see something actually. It's a dessert I'm trying to look for. Okay, so Eating the Cave, the types of stuff that they got empanadas with its veggie nadas being the star of the show, described as a savory blend of rice, cilantro, sweet pumpkin, chickpeas, and potato. They pair with the aptly named cave sauce that bolsters the flavor of the dish. That's Eat in the Cave. Let me see. Yeah, so let's see. Um, yeah, I'm trying to see something though. Yeah, they Eating the Cave will also offer beef and cheese nadas. Okay. All right, so I'm trying to think, man, because okay, the cornbread. Okay, so fan favorite at City Field the past few seasons. This barbecue joint is throwing a change up with a new menu item loaded cornbread with decadent cheddar cheese sauce, BBQ sauce, and the piece de resistance pulled pork. The cornbread is moist and sweet and balances out nicely with the pork. So because this isn't exactly your garden variety cornbread, pig beach, excuse me, founding partner and chef Shane McBride recommends to the post that fans use a fork to enjoy this indulgent item, which he considers a main attraction and no mere side dish. Yeah, so there you go, right there. Yeah, cornbread is included as well. So this is cool. Let's see. Takira Ramirez, the Brooklyn residents have become acutely aware of this Greenpoint Eatery fresh tacos over the past few years, and now the world's borough will experience some of that at the Coca-Cola food truck in Section 302 from opening day through July 12th. The stand will offer a Napolez, which is cactus taco, and with the depth of flavor, even carnivores will have a hard time turning up their noses. Oh boy, this is pretty cool. It's pretty cool though. Well, and of course, I just talked about the legacy catering. What is it? Legacy catering. Yeah, wait a minute, man. I've been hearing about this 999 challenge. So let's take a look at this. So, Willis Point Brewery, the 999 challenge, 9 beers and 9 hot dogs over 9 innings, has taken over a subset of baseball culture over the past few years. And Citifield is now offering fans a more formal way to do it. A bet in a scaled down variation. Chow hounds can pick out on nine mini Nathan's hot dogs that come with 9 4-ounce beers, either Coors Light or Heineken. Oh shit! I don't know anybody that could pull this off though. Anyway, but Willis Point is also selling a backyard BBQ burger that is loaded with 2 4-ounce Pat LaFreda patties, New York cheddar, BBQ pulled pork, onion rings, whiskey BBQ sauce, shredded lettuce, and pickles on a brioche bun. Not sure what that is, but yeah, I could take a look at it on Google. This was one of the post's new favorite bites. So if you're looking for an elevator burger, this should be a go-to. Okay. So they have let me see. The rest, if any of those items don't catch your fancy, there are plenty of other options when you are at the ballpark. The Queensboro and Eatery from Jackson Heights will have a kimchi Reuben at the Taste of Queens from March 26th to July 12th. While former Man versus Food host Adam Richman's Burger Hall of Fame will now offer a Caprice burger at its stand. Amazing Deli added a chopped Italian sausage sandwich that's a new spin on ballpark staple. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah. This is what I was looking for. Okay, those looking for a sweet treat. This is at the Pat LaFrieda's Chop House. Okay, so those looking for a sweet treat have a few choices with Long Island based Hillbrant ice cream, bringing an Mets inspired blue and orange skies flavor, along with Pat LaFrieda's Chop House, adding an apple pie cheesecake that bears a striking resemblance to the ballpark's iconic home run apple. Yum. Okay. Let me I'm not gonna have time to get to the segment that I wanted to do actually, but I am gonna go over the upcoming schedule for the New York Mets before I wrap up here. So um let's get to tomorrow's lineup. Actually, let's get to tomorrow's lineup of the schedule. Actually, so let's get to it here. Tomorrow the New York Mets are on the road in St. Louis. So the New York Mets will play against the Cardinals at 7:45 on SNY. Same goes with tomorrow with Tuesday, 7:45 on SNY. Wednesday, April Fools, New York Mets play against the Cardinals at 1:15 on SNY. Thursday, April 2nd, New York Mets versus the Giants at 9:45 p.m. on SNY. Friday, April 3rd, New York Mets versus Giants at 10:15 p.m. on Pix 11. Saturday, April 4th, 2026, New York Mets versus Giants, 9:05 p.m. on SNY. Sunday, April 5th, New York Mets versus the Giants at 4:05 p.m. on SNY. Tuesday, April 7th, New York Mets versus the Diamondbacks, 7:10 p.m. on SNY. Wednesday, April 8th, New York Mets versus Diamondbacks at 7:10 p.m. Same goes for Thursday, April 9th, New York Mets versus Diamondbacks on SNY. Friday, April 10th, Athletics versus New York Mets at 7:10 p.m. on Pix 11. Saturday, April 11th, Athletics versus New York Mets, 4:10 p.m. on SNY. And Sunday, April 12th, Athletics versus New York Mets at 1:40 p.m. on SNY. So there you go, right there, folks. All right, so we're about to wrap up here. We're gonna wrap up right here. Okay, we're gonna wrap up because I don't want it to be close to 4 hours. So let's get to. All right, let's get to this right here. It is time for a very last segment called Stream Choices on the Go. I'm sorry, this is the wrong one. Hold on, Stream Choices on the Go is this one. All right, here we go. Let's do this. Okay, make sure you follow the Sports Edition Show, Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast on Facebook, alongside with Blue Sky Social, and along with with Threads and Instagram. The same goes for my other podcast shows, the Entertainment Review Show, Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast, and alongside with my comedy Off the Meat Rat Chains New York Avenue podcast. So you can also follow your host with the most G Money Stacks 555 in Queens, New York. And you can, and of course, you can also follow the link in bio where it says Linktree / Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks Pod. All right, I'm gonna give you a rundown on where you can listen to the episodes and stuff. In just a second, let me just find it right here. Okay. So you have Audible, Odyssey, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts. Don't forget to leave a 5-star rating and positive review on Apple Podcasts. So it really helps a host like myself to create more content, create more topics to talk about in sports and all the above. Now, you can also listen on Castbox FM, Deezer, Listen Notes, Moon FM podcast, Overhaul FM podcast, Pandora, Player FM, Pocket Cast, Podo Polo, Podcast Index, Podorama, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Podverse, Podcast Guru, Podcatcher, Podcast Republic. You can listen on Snip. You can add the podcast to your Spotify playlist. Make sure you click the notification bell so you'll be able to know when each episode will be uploaded to the streaming platforms. All right. Let me see. Let me just You can also listen on Spotify for creators alongside with TuneIn Radio, Fountain, Good Pods, iHeartRadio, the number one app where you can listen to your favorite music artists such as rappers, R&B singers, pop stars, and different music genres. You can also listen on your favorite AM, FM stations, radio stations, and you can also listen to the podcast episodes for free. You don't need a credit card or debit card to download iHeartRadio. All you need to do is download iHeartRadio onto your iPhones and Android phones alongside with iPads, Android tablets, laptops includes Apple, Mac, and Dell laptop models. All right. And and make sure you click on the subscribe button so you don't miss out on when I'll be on the air live with more video podcast episode recording live streams. All right. And leave a like and a comment alongside with the sports topics. And tell me how you feel about this weekend's game of the Pirates versus the New York Mets. Even though they took 2 out of 3 with all the craziness that happened in today's game, all that great stuff. I will post that as a question on the community tab on the sports YouTube channel page of Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast. Of course, I'll put up some updates, some questions, and all the other stuff so y'all can check it out in the community tab of the sports YouTube channel page. And of course, share the podcast with the Linktree link of audio podcast feed links to your husbands, your wives, your boyfriends, girlfriends, people you are cool with from work, wherever you where wherever you work, with people that you are cool with from work, that's into sports. Of course, make sure you share, spread the word, share the video. You can also download. You can also listen to the episodes while you are in your cars going to your destinations, and and all that great stuff right there. And of course, enable alerts so you'll be notified on when on new episodes that will be recording. And of course, and of course, new episodes will be dropping Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. All right. All right. I'm about to be out of here. I'm about to wrap up right here. So if you miss any particular topics that I was talking about in today's episode whatsoever, please feel free to rewatch it and listen to it and stuff. I will be dropping episode 120, hold on, 120, 121 next week, the upcoming week that's coming up, actually. All right, so that's gonna do it for me. I'm your man G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator, rhymes with now or later. And I'd like to say thank you to every single one of you for listening, tuning in, and watching episode 121 titled let me look for it. Yes, titled "We Got the Best Citifield Foods and Much More." Basically, I had to talk about the best foods at Citifield and the 2 apps actually that I just mentioned, Sportsbug and Park, the MLB Ballpark app. All right. So if you didn't know, these are the 2 apps where you can listen to the game at Citifield for the rundown of games and all that stuff, so you don't have to worry about listening to the radio. So it makes it easier. Remember, the grind doesn't stop. Hard work pays off. If you want something, you have to work hard and earn it. It's not going to be given to you on a fucking silver platter. Of course, be sure to also be yourself behind the microphone. If you intend on starting a podcast, be yourself. Be on your P's and Q's. Be on your P's and Q's. creatively, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. That gets you into your zone alongside with tunnel vision. And of course, don't let anybody stop you from following your goals and dreams. And it's never there's never a bad time to start a podcast. All right. So just go ahead and do it. And pick the topics that you want to talk about here, that you want to talk about on any platform that you choose to put your or your recordings and your YouTubes and all that other stuff. So um all right, so stay tuned for more new sports topics in the next episode. And I'll see y'all on the flip side. I'll see y'all on the flip side. Peace and one love. Let's go, Mets. In a word in the words of Ken Stars, have a good night, everybody.